Hello everyone. Let us continue with retrosynthetic analysis, in which the next concept would be functional group interconversion. Now functional group interconversion is something like this, where one functional group can be converted into another during a retrosynthetic analysis only. Now this shall include oxidation, substitution, reduction. When there is not any availability of a real workable condition, that is, one particular functional group cannot be disconnected in an effective way, at that time we shall pick up functional group interconversion. That is, one functional group is written in such a way that there is a suitable functional group for the further synthesis of a particular starting material. An example would be benzocaine system. This is the structure of benzocaine. Now in benzocaine there are two functional groups. One is an ester functional group, the other one is NH2 functional group. In this, first an ester functional group is cleaved out, so that a C single bond O is cleaved and we get a carboxylic system plus an alcoholic system. So this is the first cleavage. Now for this carboxylic group and NH2, we can do an functional group interconversion. So the first system that I'll be picking up is carboxylic group. For the carboxylic group, we will be picking up a CH3. That is, this CH3 is completely oxidized, so that I get a carboxylic system. And for NH2 system, first I shall introduce an NO2 system. Through a reduction, we can convert it into NH2 system. So if I pick up a para-nitrotoluene system, upon oxidation I will get para-nitrobenzoic acid, which upon reduction I will be getting your para-amino benzoic acid, or a PABA system. So this is how we can do a functional group interconversion utilizing an oxidation and a reduction reaction. Further, we can also see that instead of making use of a system like para-amino benzoic acid, the starting material can also be para-nitrotoluene system. This also can be cleaved further, that is, C single bond N can be cleaved further, so that I will be getting a nitration system to be followed. So I will do a retrosynthetic analysis on this C single bond N and I will get toluene as my starting material. So what may be the design synthesis for the benzocaine? The starting material would be a toluene system, in which I will be adding an HNO3 plus H2SO4. This will give me a nitration at a para position, which upon oxidation CH3 will get converted to a carboxylic system, which upon reduction, that is in the presence of palladium and carbon, NO2 will get converted to NH2. Further, upon esterification, we will be getting our the target molecule, which is the benzocaine system. But why shall we be doing a functional group interconversion? Because compounds to be disconnected can be more reactive. To avoid more chemoselectivity problems, we shall be doing functional group interconversion. So what we do is, in these cases, the compounds will be disconnected and they can be converted to a less reactive system, so that this less reactive system can be further utilized in our system or the synthesis. Now in this way, we can also follow our next example, which is amine synthesis using functional group interconversion. Now this is our target molecule. Now this is an alkylated amine. Here in the system where there is a C single bond N, we will be cleaving the system, so that I'll get RCH2NH2 and an XCH2R. Now this is seen that more reactive than the starting material. If I do not cleave at this position, then I can get a multiple alkylation. To avoid multiple alkylation, we will be cleaving at this position. So how we actually avoid that multiple alkylation is by utilizing a functional group interconversion. Now this reactive amine is further converted to an amide system, so that now this is less reactive, and further this amide system can be reduced and we get an amine system, which is a more reliable system for the further synthesis. So what we do is, we convert that amine system into an amide system first, amine into an amide, and through reduction we convert this amide to an amine, which is more reliable. Therefore, functional group interconversion is a more reliable system in the alkylation systems of an amine. So we can see that retrosynthesis analysis of the starting material or the target molecule, that is my alkylated amine system, can be observed now. So what we have done here, we have done a functional group interconversion. That is, an amine is first converted to an amide system. So the functional group interconversion would be, first I will be introducing an amide system. Further, upon reduction, I can get back my NH, or I will be getting an amine system. Now what we'll be doing is, CN amide system, that is an amide system, can be synthesized by an amine and an acid chloride system. So an amine is converted and we will be doing an acid chloride. So acid chloride plus amine will give me an amide system. Further, upon reduction, I will be getting an amine system. So this is how functional group interconversion through an reduction can be utilized for the synthesis of an amine system. So what shall be a designed synthesis for this? A designed synthesis would be, an amine reacts with an acid chloride which is converted to an amide, which further reacts with an lithium aluminium hydride, so that the carbonyl carbon is reduced and I get an target molecule. That is my starting material or my target molecule which I intend to synthesize. What may be an alternative synthesis for this particular target molecule only? That is, amine can be converted into an imine system, that is C double bond N system. Further, this connection can be done so that this conversion can be done with an amine plus a carbonyl compound. Now this is called as reductive amination. The alternative synthesis for an amine system is called as reductive amination. So retrosynthetic analysis of this particular target molecule would be, I will be doing a functional group interconversion by a reduction again. So this amine can be first converted to an imine system. Now further, this imine system can be cleaved in such a way that we get an amine system and we get a carbonyl carbon, that is your aldehydic system. Aldehydic system reacts with an amine so that I get an imine system. Further, when I reduce this C double bond N, I will be getting an amine system. So this will follow a reductive amination system. Now the design synthesis for this amine would be, amine will react with an aldehydic system in the presence of H plus catalysis, that is a protonic environment, to get me an imine system. Further, either I'll make use of a sodium borohydride system or an hydrogen as the catalyst so that I get my target molecule. So we can design two alternative synthesis. Either the first alternative synthesis is by the amide system, or the second alternative system is by the system of the reductive amination. Now, what is an importance of the order of the events in this organic synthesis? We can see that we get to yield a pure product, so that there will be very less byproducts that can be observed. Now there will be some of the intermediates which are already present, so there need not be any reinvention of the complete wheel. So if the intermediates are already available to us, then complete reinvention of the retrosynthetic analysis need not be required. Whatever is the starting material which is available to us, we can utilize that and we can continue with the reaction. However, most of the times the intermediates may be synthesized for the first time. So what we have to do, we have to develop a general methodology so that these new intermediates which get synthesized, they have to be utilized in various other reactions also. And they should be a broad range of the substrate. Now that particular substrate or the intermediate that we synthesize, it should have a broad range for the synthesis. Now this is also called as methodology research. So methodology research has got three important aspects. One is the discovery, the other one is optimization, and the study of the scope and limitations. That is discovering of an intermediate, we can optimize a particular reaction, whether it should be carried out in a particular temperature, particular pressure, or a certain of the system can be seen in the optimization. And further, the studies of the scope, that is various reaction where this particular intermediate can be utilized and what are its limitation, can be done under methodology research. So the discovery usually requires a very much extensive knowledge of organic chemistry, because various times we can see that there is a requirement of appropriate reagents. So optimization is a process in which two or more starting materials can be seen, in which there will be controlled condition, that is temperature, solvent, reaction time, everything needs to be controlled. Finally, the researcher has to see so that whatever he synthesizes, there should be a broad range and there should be a different starting material, so that for one particular starting material only we can design various synthesis. Now, for example, we saw our amine synthesis. Either I could go by a reductive amination method or an amide system. So see, this is how we can see through a scope and limitation. So total synthesis of mostly all of the system can be done by this type of events, that is polymer applications, pharmaceutical applications. They can be done with this events or the order of the events. So retrosynthetic actually is a method in which retrosynthetic analysis is actually a method in which we do a deconstructing of the target molecule. That is, we cleave the target molecule and we arrive at the starting material. This was actually first told by Elias James Corey, who won a Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1990. So he told about the designing of the target molecule to arrive at the starting material and further doing a deconstruction to get us the final starting material, yielding a proper synthesis to get a final compound.